I've got two games that I think you'll find entertaining with Oloro. One is a multiplayer game, and one of them is a game just focusing on the. It's just funny because it's a little bit ironic. Anyway, Brian and I are both kind of tuning these in a Oloro deck again. I'd given up on it for a little while, but then I thought, let me get back to it. Maybe I gave up on it prematurely. So, anyway, he and I are very close in our deck lists. I have Seal of Cleansing and Disenchant, where he has the white blue signet and Oblivion Ring. He has neither Disenchant nor Seal of Cleansing. And then everything in my blue side matches his blue side. Everything in the black side matches his black. Multi is the same. And in artifacts, I've got Staff of Nin as well as Sculpting Steel, where he's got the two talismans, the blue producing talismans, blue-white and blue-black talismans. And then in lands, I think we're all the same, except that I've got he's got a Karoo, the pickup land, the Azorius land where you put it in play tapped and pick up a land, but it taps for 2 mana. He's running that thing, and he's got maybe I think he's got the filter lands where you put in a blue and you get blue and white out, or you put in a blue and you get blue and black out, or likewise for the other colors. I've got Glacial Forest and Drowned Catacomb. So other than that, everything's the same. And now that I've gone over the deck list, I'll include it at the end of the video, a brief picture in case people skip ahead, and let's check out this multiplayer game. So I was playing a two-headed giant here with a random pickup person. I just jumped in it for, fun. And I think I still had talismans in this version, but anyway. So here I'm playing against, or my partner's playing Prosh, I'm playing Oloro, the enemy's playing Oloro and Rubinia Soulsinger, and I'll just stack my hand over my buddy's. His hand is not all that great, and neither is mine. So I mulligan, even though I do have a mana crypt. It's a little dicey with just a reflecting pool. I probably could have kept it and been okay, but I decided since you get the mulligan to 7, I would. And I mulligan into this beauty of a hand. And my buddy, I think he mulligans as well. Yeah, so he mulligans into this thing and decides he's going to keep it. And so I get to go first, actually. I'm going to go ahead and just cover up my partner's hand, and we'll just have to see what he's got by watching him play. So I get first turn Imperial Seal. The other guy gets some life, and then second turn, boom, Mana Crypt. Turn 2 Jace, and I draw some cards, stacking lands on top. So the other guys don't do too much for their turns, and then on mine I get to draw and play Gilded Lotus. Well, Jace first. I shuffle. I play my sack line and sack because I knew I didn't want the card on top underneath. And after shuffling, I Jace to see what the best play is for the turn. Seeing the shop, so I know I'll be doing next turn. So I put shop back and go ahead and just cast my Lotus and say go. This guy plays Rhystic Study. I'm holding Seal of Cleansing, no problem. Figured that would be my cue to my opponent, my partner rather, to not cast into the Rhystic. I'll go ahead and seal it away on my turn. And this guy plays Quizali Pridemage, so I'm able to mana leak and pay the 1 mana thanks to Gilded Lotus. And we get that countered, but my buddy doesn't want to wait a turn, so he's going to give this guy a card, and he casts Yavimaya Elder. Fair enough. Excuse me. So I draw Shop and do my Jace thing, and then go ahead and start by, I was trying to figure out the best way to do this. So I go ahead and just Chalice for 2, paying the 1 extra, and then using the rest of my mana, Mind Twist for 6, basically killing this opponent. And pay the 1 so the other guy doesn't draw. And I figured since this guy's got mana and stuff, he'll stop now, and I'll Seal Cleansing it next turn. But let's take this guy out of the game, the guy with the disenchants. So this Rhystic guy plays a Sorin. The other guy, of course, draws nothing. My partner uses a Phyrexian Tower to sack his guy. I guess he doesn't want an extra card. But with the mana, he's able to cast Phyrexian Delver, giving the other guy another card, and getting his Yavimaya. So it's really hard to, I like what he's doing over here, but it's really hard to play when my partner is feeding cards to the enemy there. I've got a traitor in my midst. So anyway, I draw, play a land, and then go ahead and Seal of Cleansing away the Rhystic after paying for it. And from there, I'm able to Enlighten Tutor for well, and then Jace right into it. keeping just factor fiction, and then here I make a slight error. So what I needed to do here was cast a well, sure, that's fine, and then tap for white, and then cast factor fiction. Maybe. Well, I don't know. There was no real way out for me here. What I needed to do is not use Tundra earlier. When I used Seal, I should have used Gilded Lotus for white and left the Tundra alone. That way, at the end of this whole turn, I could have left my Reflecting Pool as the one, because I used one for Tutor and one for Seal. But if I'd have done it differently and used my Lotus, I could have ended the turn with Reflecting Pool untapped. And because I don't, it ends up costing me a little bit. So I'm Factor Fiction in that pile there. And I go ahead and take the 3 pile. Go ahead and play the Mana Vault and pass for the turn. Now I don't have Reflecting Pool untapped, so when this guy plays Sword of Fire and Ice, I cannot Swords this guy in response to an equip, and he gets to kill my Jace. Really sucks. So the other guy plays Yavimaya, and now I'm holding swords, so you'd think that my partner would see, hey, I've got Swords to Plowshares, don't attack, because I'll Swords this guy, and he'll get no lands and no cards. You'd think, right? Well, my partner does his little Elder trick with Tower. Plays his Prosh, okay, and then attacks, giving this guy 2 mana. So, like, my partner has so far managed to give this opponent 2 extra cards and this guy 2 extra cards for no reason at all, both of the time. I mean, he sees my hand. He doesn't have to do either one. So I'm playing against these 2 guys plus my partner, apparently. Ugh. So anyway, my turn to go ahead and just well up, and there we go. Demonic Tutor for Will, because I'm trying to keep this guy out of the game. So I wouldn't want to have willed this early, but my partner's kind of forced my hand. So I get the will off, cast Seal of Cleansing from the graveyard. That takes care of the Sword of Fire and Ice. Recast. I cast a Trinket Mage from the graveyard to go fetch myself a Soul Ring. Play the Soul Ring off shop, and using the mana that I've got, I Mind Twist for 3 and Imperial Seal, and I've spent all of my mana, but that goes ahead and takes care of the 2 lands this guy has. We got to keep him suppressed here, so I've got a Trinket Mage in play also, on top of all this stuff. And I pass the turn with a Seal. I'll seal whatever the worst thing is. Probably Sword, but you know, there it is, ready to go. This is kind of a nice thing to have. And this guy plays Vess, but remember, I Imperial Sealed, and I Imperial Sealed for, what would you have gone and got at this point? Well, I guess you'll see. So he doesn't even swing, I guess, because knowing I could just kill the sword, and he'd rather, I don't know, not encourage me to do that, I suppose. It's fine by me. I'll keep my Seal for now. The other guy has no play off the top. My partner plays like Shared Animosity, so now he's able to attack for a whole bunch of damage. Pointless damage, though. I mean, it's good, but whatever. The guys are at, I mean, 35 damage is great, but the guy's at 60, so for whatever reason, though, taking 35 and still only having 60 life like causes the guy to give up. Or maybe it's because I Mind Twisted him twice and I've been trying to crush his ability to even be in the game. You can use Mind Twist to kill one player. I've heard people say Mind Twist is bad in multiplayer, and maybe they mean in multiplayer free-for-all, but even then I still think like a card that single-handedly removes one of your opponents from the game can't be bad ever. So, because in multiplayer it'll probably be, you know, you start playing like this and it's going to be 3-on-1 anyway, so making it 2-on-1 by killing one of them with Mind Twist, and then later, you know, Yawgmoth's Willing and then potentially Mind Twisting the other guy and just making it a 1v1 battle, that's where it's at right there. So anyway, my turn, I get to draw 2 cards for Well, I get to draw for Oloro, and then I have, like I said, I went and fetched Karn, so that was the card if you were wondering. And before I can get down with Karn and just finish this up, these guys give up. So I think that would have been pretty solid, though. Karn comes down, probably play the commander, maybe not. Leave the mana drain up and the swords up, and then take out one of his Planeswalker this turn and one of them next turn, however. But they give up. So, yeah. kind of a bummer when this guy scooping allows this guy to attack this guy, so it's kind of stupid because all of a sudden my partner's stuff is relevant. Anyway, that was a multiplayer game with Oloro, though. I thought it was kind of fun. People like to see that sometimes, so I could do those periodically. And here I had a 1v1 game against Scooter, and like I said, this is not like a this is not an epic battle, but it was just like a really fun, ironic situation, and I'll show you why. So go ahead and take a mulligan with this, and this looks like a keeper. I figure this is a winning hand because I'm gonna mana drain into staff and nin, and then staff will just win it for me. One of the reasons why I like staff is just because of what it does with Rampy draws it. It's just a 6 mana win the game kind of card. Those are the kind of cards we like to play. So I drew Gilded Lotus, however, which is even more powerful in the long run. So I'm just sitting pretty on my mana drain. And this guy casts a 4 mana spell, and there we go. So I mana drain, draw land, which is nice. Cast Gilded Lotus, and figure, okay, now I'm going to cast Staff and Nin as well. I could actually do both, Lotus and Nin. It's very, very powerful. So I think about it, and I'm like, you know what? Even if he does something, I have Mystical Teachings to recover. But instead of playing Staff, I've got 6 mana. Let's play the Oloro. I mean, Staff is, there's a lot of disenchants in red and green, but Oloro is very hard to kill, and he's also a card drawer. And then I can follow up with Staff whenever I want to. It's much easier to cast off colorless, so I went this route. And this guy plays Recollect on Garrick, and I top deck like a champ off of Oloro, drawing Mind Twist. Now check it out. Here's the awesome situation. Well, I don't know, ironic. I don't know what it is. I just thought it was very cool. So I break him off with the Mind Twist, which is normally a good game anyway, but I just thought this was super neat. So here I have an Oloro in play. He's playing black, and he's got Terror. Doesn't kill Oloro. Ultimate Price? Nope, sorry. Doomblade does not kill Oloro. How awesome is that? Triple black removal. One of those could have been Smother. Still doesn't kill Oloro. And this thing's surprisingly hard to kill, to take down. I mean, there's a few white cards that kill it. You can steal it with blue, and I mean, there's Hero's Downfall and a few others, but Terminate would have been good, but still, pretty awesome there. So Mind Twist away all that. Cards that would have been completely worthless against me anyway, but Garrick certainly would not be worthless against me, neither would Animate Dead, and my opponent wants nothing to do with me drawing 2 cards against his empty hand, and I don't blame him. So anyway, just a funny little thing there, I thought. Here is the deck list again. I do hope you enjoyed these games, a short video today, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.